Yo, what's up, brother? What's going on, Olivia? We're back. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Owen? What's going on, Mason? How are you, bro? I feel amazing. I'm going to bring the energy tonight. We are back. We're live last night. We're back again. What's going on, Nana? Banana, na 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 na. Nana, banana, banana, banana. What's going on, Bradley? Trying to move to the USA. Are you currently from Australia? If I'm from Australia, the USA does not interest me personally. If you guys have any questions for self-improvement regarding gym, diet, physical health, mental health, social skills, relationships, pump them through. It's going to be a good quality live. If you missed my live from last night, I actually recently chucked that up on my second YouTube channel called Petis Raw, Petis Raw. Tons of value packed, and I hope to bring the same quality and value tonight. Let's go, guys. Spam the like, spam the share so more people can find this live. What's going on, Oscar? Steven, what's going on, brother? We've got a regular, my man. How was your day, brother? What's good, bro? Not much, man. Feel so happy. Today was pool day. Back and biceps. Hit a sauna just an hour ago. How was your day, man? Did we train? What's going on, Victor? Might be a relatively quick live tonight, but it's already getting a bit late. Feeling very happy as well, bro. Love to hear that, bro. Bring the vibes, bring the vibes. That's it, man. Did we train today? Did we get a session in? What's going on, Brusnik? Brusnik. Today, I actually just finished the book, The Courage to be Disliked. One of my favorite books, personally. 270 pages. Finished in like a week and a half. What's going on, Hassan? What's up, bro? Underrated book. Have you read it, man? No way. That's crazy if you've read it as well. It's one of my fucking favorites. The whole chat between the philosopher and the youth guy. It is the most mind-opening you have. Wow. That's actually so interesting. The whole stuff about like separation of tasks. The whole superior and inferior chapter. I've always believed that it's possible to change. Like when you hop on this journey of self-improvement, you always kind of believe you can grow and change and level up, whether it be your physique, your mental health, etc. But there were still parts in the book where I'm just like, holy fuck. Let me see some parts that I highlighted that really interested and intrigued me. One sec. Here we go. What's going on, Julia? You are so afraid of interpersonal relationships that you came to dislike yourself. You've avoided interpersonal relationships by disliking yourself. Basically, all our problems stem from relationships, which isn't entirely bad. But the book pretty much gives this guy the straight up advice that if you feel lonely and you're self-isolating yourself, that's not because... Basically, that's because he wants that and he's achieving his goal of being alone. It's kind of late now and I don't think I can explain this my best now, but I highly recommend reading this book. But the author is actually Ichiro Kishimi. Well done, bro. How many pages do I read a day normally? I guess it kind of depends what book I'm reading. If the book I find is like extremely difficult and hard to like absorb the info, not as of many. But a book like this, it's kind of like, not as of difficult. Like, what's a difficult book? I'd say Art of War, the Bible. There's some tough ones. But on average, I'd try read like 30 to 40 pages, I think is a good goal. Which only takes me like, depends how much time I have in the day, but I like to dedicate a good like hour to reading because I feel like it's one of the most important self-improvement habits that doesn't get spoken about enough. A lot of people think like, oh, reading is so this and that, and reading's a waste of time. Why read when you can go to the gym? But we all forget to realize that this bad stigma of picking up a book has all been developed in us from high school, because high school we're getting books shoved down our throat that are just not interesting at all. Horrible. Guys, if you have any questions about gym, diet, self-improvement, books, relationships, social skills, mental health, self-improvement habits, pump them through. I'm going to answer every single question. We just started live, so you haven't missed much if you just join in. Very true, 100%. What motivates you to go to the gym consistently? Honestly, bro, I'm going to be brutally authentic with you and say that the gym right now for me does not require motivation, and it is so fun. Obviously, at first being a beginner, doing something new that's relatively painful is or does require motivation, but we have to be honest with ourselves and realize that motivation fluctuates and we can't necessarily rely on motivation, because there are going to be days when motivation is low. A skill which we need to develop, which is crucial for masculine self-improvement, is discipline. We need to realize that there are going to be days when we don't feel like going to the gym, but as the man, we need to become more of a man of our word and say that I feel like this, I feel sad, I feel lazy. That's not going to stop me from getting my fucking ass, pardon me, getting my ass off of the sofa and going to the gym. But I guess what really motivated me as a beginner was just the thought of like, oh, being jacked seems cool, more attraction, that's cool. Like when we think of those end rewards, as much as like you hear people say, oh, I lift weights to for my mental health. Which is like, okay, it's true, that's kind of why I lift them now. But like at first the burning desire was to just attract girls. And I felt like that desire was strong enough to just keep going to the gym, keep going to the gym. I don't want to be skinny, I don't want to be skinny, I don't want to be skinny. I want muscle and I want it now. But that wasn't me like getting impatient and me going down the route of fucking peptides, all that stuff, which you shouldn't think about at all, not healthy. I had a burning desire to be better, but I also had patience, which is crucial. And the mindset which helped me the most was saying to myself that if I can just do and accomplish these short-term goals and tick the boxes like working out 3-4 times a week, eating healthy, high protein, and getting all of my sleep, it is inevitable that that future version of me, let's say in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, is going to have maybe 5% more muscle. I need to realize and have the awareness and understanding that who I am right now isn't going to be who I'm going to be, isn't going to be who I am going to... Does that make sense? Who I am right now is going to be the worst version of myself. When you can have that sort of confidence, you almost like let go and just know like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow of life. Like today, this workout, this is the skinniest I'm ever going to look. Which if you know deep down you're going to be consistent, you're literally right, bro. It goes with like everything else in life. Every like skill. When you can say, oh, I'm kind of nervous to do this skill, like talking to the camera. I'm kind of nervous to approach this girl. When we can say, this is going to be the worst attempt, because I know if I just take action now, I'm going to get better and better and better and better. Then you start to like fear, you start to not fear failure as of much, or like fear of rejection. I think it's such a good mindset. Not many people have this sort of mindset. How come you only got half red lights on? Someone stole the other half. Have you read The Resilience Shield by Dan Pronk? I have not, Stephen. I have not. Let me screenshot that. I have to take notes. Greek Orthodox. Guys, spam the likes, spam the shares. Let's go, let's go. What's going on? I think the same thing goes with like any sort of habit. I kind of touched on this last live, but with good habits and bad habits, pretty much what we want to do is, oh my God, my contacts. We want to make bad habits put as much friction on them as possible so it prevents us from doing them. Whereas with good habits, we want to make them as frictionless as possible, as easy to do. And that's going to enable us to actually be more likely to commit the act. So let's say reading. You have struggle with being consistent of picking up a book and reading some pages. How can we be more consistent with that and make it more frictionless? Have the books right next to your bed or just around you, wherever you are. At least then you're looking at your book more often. Like it's just there. It's like that annoying friend that's just always following you. You're probably going to be more likely to engage and pick up the book and read it. Thanks so much, Man and Jew. Same thing goes with like going to the gym. Pick a gym that's close to you, not as of far. That's going to make it a whole lot more frictionless and a lot easier to stay consistent with it in the long term, okay? What does it mean when a girl says she's not ready for a relationship? Move on, bro. We can't get needy. You just got to accept it for what it is. And she clearly just thinks you're not as of high value yet. And I know everything's not about getting revenge, but make her feel like she made a mistake. And that should be like a primal drive. Because a girl can say that and then the next day get in a relationship with a different guy. I've seen it happen plenty of fucking times, bro. But it's something that's not your task and not in your control. So it's also something you shouldn't worry about. Your advice and purpose right now should be to say to yourself, she doesn't think I'm high value. Cool, maybe I'm not, but I know I am going to be in X amount of time. Bonjour, what's going on? What's up, Nick? How's your day been, brother? How have you been? Haven't been on live in a while. I've been live a couple times this past week for the first time in months, but we are officially back and it feels so good to be back. I'm actually going to be posting my previous lives on my second YouTube channel called Petis Raw. I recently posted my one from last night just up before, so if you are interested in that, value packed. What I read miss? When I started reading, it was such a drag, so I just read one page and increased it by one a day. Well, for me personally, obviously, whenever you do any sort of like new habit, it's always a bit difficult at the start. I remember when I bought my first book, obviously like Atomic Habits, a very beginner-friendly book. I had my phone next to me and I would try read a page, but every single line, I would just grab my phone and scroll. So I said to myself, what is the micro distraction which is not making me be able to read? My phone. So I'm like, fuck this. I grabbed my phone, put on airplane mode and put in my cupboard and said, I'm just going to sit down and read for 30 minutes. And if I can do that, I can do anything. So that's what I did. And it really started to set in stone some sort of like consistency. How important is getting rich to you? I guess everyone has a different definition of being rich, but I think I want to live a life that has financial and location freedom, time freedom. And like the goal of like being a billionaire and like something like crazy like that doesn't really interest me. I think I just want to have something that I can fulfill my desires and like purposes and stuff like that. What book? I was speaking about Atomic Habits. That was actually the first book I read. Very beginner friendly book. Everything was going good. Then all of a sudden she said she's not ready for a relationship. Yeah, bro. I think as the guy, you just have to take it for what it is and say to yourself, okay, oh well, I know there is abundance of girls and I'm not going to get too hung up that she rejected me. I know it's easier said than done, but we have to always, as the man, we've got to zoom out and realize and think long term. She's probably moved on, which I know can kind of hurt us, but we got to swallow that tough pill and say, I'm going to move on as well. And I guess expressing like dark emotions isn't like the worst thing. Like if you're angry about it, if you're pissed off, yeah, those are like negative emotions, but you can use them productively. Because also think, when does a man make the most gains? After a breakup. What is he feeling? Pissed off, dissatisfied, wants to prove her wrong. So there's two ways you can go. You can hop on the path of self-improvement and say to yourself, I'm going to become better. Or you can hop on the path of self-destruction and just escape your problems and hop into this path of like degeneracy, which we all know how that ends. It doesn't really end well. Novak Djokovic. I like that answer. Thanks, bro. Thank you. If you have any more questions regarding gym, diet, self-improvement, pump them through. Don't miss any previously. I guess if I was to recommend some books for you guys right now, some of my personal favorites. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Very good, like, entry entrepreneur type book. Has some really, really good advice. We've got Attached. What's going on, Hassan? 8 eggs a day, okay. I guess it kind of depends on your body weight, bro. Depends on your body weight. Like if you're weighing 60 kilos, I wouldn't really recommend 8. I think that's probably going to put you too much into a surplus. But for me personally, I weigh like 90 kilos. I'll have 8 a day. But now that I'm starting to cut and my goal is to drop weight, how can I drop weight? I can play around with my calories. So, how can I keep protein high but drop my calories? Oh, with my eggs, since I eat 8 eggs a day, what if I was to have 6 whole eggs and 2 egg whites? So I'm erasing 2 egg yolks. The yolk part of an egg only consists of the fat. Now, it's not that fat is bad, but it's that when I'm cutting, my goal is to reduce calories and I want to keep protein the same number or level to hold on and retain my muscle mass, okay? So usually, like, the deeper I get into a cut, I like play around with my eggs and I'll say to myself that, okay, I'm having 8 whole eggs. Let's go 6 whole eggs and 2 egg whites. That gets rid of 10 grams of fat, which 1 gram of fat consists of 9 calories. So 10 times 9, 90 calories, just erase like that. And I don't even really notice it. And you'll be surprised, bro. Like with cutting and like dropping body fat, you really only need to make like tiny micro adjustments to your diet or even to your cardio, being a bit more physically active, getting in more steps, adding in cardio sessions like on the Stairmaster, increasing the duration, intensity, frequency, playing around with all those stuff. And your goal should be, when you're trying to retain as much muscle mass as possible but drop body fat, your goal should be to make one change every single week and just see how your body responds. Obviously, we all have different amounts of muscle mass, we all have different levels of experience, but I feel like if you've been training consistently for like 3 to 4 years by now, you probably have a pretty good frame, and maybe one of your goals is to cut for this summer. And if you feel like you need more guidance for this, I am doing one-on-one coaching, first link in the description. But realize that we need to simplify and just say to ourselves that this is just a big math equation. Big math equation. And it just requires a little bit of awareness and a little bit of like micro tweaks and also consistency. Because obviously if there's days where we're like, fuck this, I'm going to eat all out of my diet. I'm not seeing any results, so I'm just going to cheat and eat Macca's and KFC and Domino's and HSPs and all this crap. Obviously, if you're that guy who doesn't have discipline, you're probably never going to lose weight. But when we can have this kind of like organized math equation mindset, it's inevitable that we'll see progress. Inevitable. If we have any more questions regarding gym, diet, self-improvement, pump them through. Let's go. How tall are you? Take a guess, guys. How tall am I? What is my height? What is my height? What is my height? Close. 6'1". Close. That's not correct though. No. Any last guesses? 6 foot on the dot. Perfect, brother. Under. Yeah. Sharp beard, bro. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, back on like calories, I feel like when we can have this mindset of the fact that it's just one big math equation and simplify it and just say to ourselves that, okay, if I can complete these actions and follow my actual meal plan and don't cheat myself and just follow it. Thanks so much for the follow, brother. It's inevitable that the future version of myself is going to probably have a couple less percentages of body fat. I think an important mindset is to be aware of your weekly total of calories, okay? Because you can have a perfect diet Monday to Friday. Let's say your maintenance calories or your deficit calories is precisely 1,800, okay? And we hit that target Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the weekend rolls around and we say to ourselves that, oh, I've been consistent, I've been disciplined, so I deserve a cheat meal because I've worked hard and it's all about balance. You'll soon come to realize how fucked over you get from this balanced mindset. And if you have, let's say, Saturday, Sunday, your calories was meant to be 1,800, but now you consume 2,500, 3,000, 4,000. That whole week, like I know this hurts, but we just got to take it on the chin. That whole week, the scales aren't going to change much. They're really not. We have to be smart and eat foods that are like satiating and fill us up. This is why I believe like a high protein and high fat diet is really good at accomplishing that, okay? A lot of people like to go high carbs and they're like, oh, I'm going to do high carbs. Fats are bad. Fat makes you fat, so I'm not going to eat fat. And I'm going to have a lot of carbs and a lot of protein. Without realizing that fats actually keep us really fucking full and are so good for our hormones and health. So I really like the high fat diet approach. Come on, bro. None of this 67 stuff. We've got to grow up here. Come on. Like, even though you eat right and do enough training. What do you mean by that, brother? Sorry, I meant do enough training. Even though you eat right and do enough training. Yeah, so like, that's fine. But a lot of people think like, oh, Adrian, I've ate my meal plan. I've ate the same amount of calories for 6 weeks and I'm still not losing weight. That's because we'll soon come to realize that our bodies plateau relatively fast. They plateau, like plateauing is a real thing. This is why when people do like a crash diet and they slash their calories in half from the get-go and say, okay, I went from bulking from 3,000 calories to now 1,500. And I lost so much weight at the start. Like, oh my God, the fat was just coming right off. And in the future weeks, I noticed that my body weight was staying the same, but I'm still in a deficit, Adrian. Your body starts to adjust on the fuel you're giving it. This is why I believe micro adjustments every week until you want to peak is the best strategy, okay? And also when you do this, like big crash diets, cravings are super high, like extremely high. Temptation, obviously, same thing as cravings, but the hunger hormones go through the fucking roof. Whereas when you make little tweaks, it's like so sustainable and you barely notice any cravings. Paris commented, what do you do when you are plateauing? I don't know how to spell it, lol. I think this is what I would do. I would have a bit of a refeed. So let's say my calories are already super low and I'm saying I can't eat less calories, Adrian, I'm going to die. A refeed. So like spend a week back up in your calories by however much, let's say 500 again. And yeah, you might add a bit of water back on you and the scales might go back up. The scales might go back up. But then you kind of work off of that again. And I think we can't get so addicted to just removing calories from our diet. If we feel like our calories have already gotten super low, but our physical activity isn't that high, then that's probably the area we should probably target a bit more. Like let's say we're only taking 6,000 steps a day. What's an extra 2,000? That's more movement, more calories we're burning, and puts us more on the track of losing body fat, all right? Thanks so much for the follow, Adam. Appreciate it, bro. Thoughts on Redder? Personally, I'm so against all of those, what do you call them, peptides. And it's a shame to see like the whole younger generation and all their content, they're just promoting that crap. It's like, bro, you don't need that stuff. I know it like suppresses your appetite, but like, we don't know the long-term effects of it. It's not entirely safe to be taken. Thoughts on playing an instrument? I mean, I'm not against instruments or anything. If you feel like that's your purpose and you have a lot of enjoyment and you get into that like flow state whenever you are playing an instrument, piano, violin, guitar, drums, etc., you go all in on that, bro. And I feel like if it's something you really enjoy, it's like, bro, you should be posting content about that. Like, you should share content of what you're really passionate about. And there is an audience for everything. Everything, everything, everything. Increase calories or focus more on physical activity? Honestly, I think a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I guess it also depends like with how you're feeling. If you're feeling like you're dying and like energy levels like crazy low and you find it extremely hard to do more physical activity just because you're not eating enough food, definitely up the food first. But back on Reddit, ignore that. Ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. Especially if we feel like we haven't got the basic habits down pat. Like people like to go down this path of taking this stuff and thinking it's going to be the resolution to all of their problems, which at the same time, they still have really bad sleep. They have like lack of discipline. They don't even get any sunlight. And maybe they're not even eating enough protein and they think some like magic peptide is going to save them. It's like we shouldn't consider any of that stuff only up until we're like 30. Of course, Christian. What's going on, man? How you been, brother? We're back, bro. How you been, bro? I've been going live like, 2-3 times the last week. I have been posting my old lives on my second YouTube channel called Petis if you're interested in that. Of course, Christian, bro. I'm an OG. You're an OG, bro. I'm an OG. How's your training been, bro? Of course, tell me a joke. Amazing. Are we bulking or cutting? Summer's coming. Why did the apple cross the road? I'm not to eat a shopping cart. The apple crossed the road to eat a shopping cart. I don't get it. What's up, Mario? Christian commented, I got my P's booked in 2 weeks, bro. That is fucking amazing, bro. You're going to smash it. Let's go. The freedom you're going to feel like you get once you get your license. Oh my goodness, bro. It's going to feel like, okay, now life started. Now I'm like finished the prelude and introduction of school and life and I can actually explore. That's fucking amazing, bro. Let's go. It's on my B-day, bro. You're not going to fail. We got to have this mindset of I'm passing, I'm passing, I'm passing. When you can like repeat that and almost manifest it, it's going to happen, bro. You got this, brother. Come on. Is main gaining a thing? 100%. 1000%. 1000%. As long as you're progressing in the gym, you're logging your top sets and eating the same calories, giving your body the fuel it needs to recover and grow without putting on body fat. Main gaining is so possible. It's something I do. Like, yeah, okay, maybe I slowly gain a kilo like once every 2-3 months. But who knows? Maybe that's just like muscle mass. Because like now I weigh 90 kilos and I'm still like relatively lean. It's like the heaviest I've been, or also being the leanest. And I've just been eating the same food every day for like the last 7 months. And I guess I was really lean at the start of the year because I did cut for summer. I was like 82. And I guess month by month this year, I went 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. And it's not like I've become like crazy fat. It's not like my face is crazy bloated. I don't think it is. My abs are still like a bit seeable. And I feel good. I feel like happier than ever. Oh, bet we counted to 100. Thanks so much for the follow, Noah. I appreciate it. Of course, Christian. Hey, what's going on? If we have any questions regarding self-improvement, physical health, mental health, books, knowledge, dating, social skills, pumping through, guys. Let's go. What did everyone train today? I trained the mind, chest and back. I've never done a chest and back split. I've always just been so boring and simple, just doing push-pull legs. Legs? Unreal, Steven. What type of squat variation did we do? Me personally, I've been loving the pendulum squat. I've been doing that like the whole year. Leo, what's going on, brother? Legs and abs? Nice. Abs is probably the one muscle group I am so inconsistent with. Horrendously inconsistent with. Oh my god. Like, I would rather squat. Hack squat RDLs. Amazing, bro. What compounds? I'm trying to be a lot more consistent with it now because I'm cutting. I want my abs to pop. So I do like hanging knee raises or leg raises. Really good exercise. I'll just do like 2 sets. What's up, Josh? I'll take him to failure. Another day on planet Earth always makes the mind endure. I like that. But yeah, I've never been a fan of like the chest, back, arms, shoulders, that type of split. I've always loved push-pull legs. Always. Just 3 times a week because I also do like 2 runs. I do some sort of like interval run/sprint, whether it be 200 meters for 6 sets or 400 meters for 6 sets. I'll do that like once a week and far out, that is just brutal. That's like interval running, I swear to God, so much harder than leg days. Ridiculously harder. Mainly the 400 meters. 200 meters isn't as bad because obviously less distance, more sprints. The pain's not as for long. But, fuck, bro. Do I think hot Pilates is functional to lose weight and tonificate? I've never heard that word, but I'm guessing you mean tone. Well, Pilates is physical activity, which burns calories. But to lose weight, we have to be burning more calories than what we're consuming. And we can do this by putting ourselves in a calorie deficit, by either eating less calories or by burning more. And I was saying before how if we keep doing the same stuff, if we keep eating the same food and doing the same amount of exercise, our body will quite literally just plateau and keep the same body weight. We need to put ourselves in a deficit so we're using fat as energy, and that's what makes us burn fat. Hey, from Germany, what's going on, man? So Pilates, yes, physical activity, but if we're not making any changes with our diet or if we're not trying to move a little bit extra, like get an extra 2,000 steps a day or something like that, we won't achieve our goal of losing body fat. And a lot of people like to think, okay, Adrian, so I need to put myself in deficit. I'm just not going to eat any food. I'm going to have cigarettes. I'm going to have a lot of coffee and just not eat. When we follow that pathway, yes, we're in a deficit, but now we're risking muscle loss because we're not giving our body protein, which is needed to retain muscle. How many steps per day do you recommend? I guess a good baseline is to know how many steps a day we're taking right now, which we can actually see on our health app on our phones. And if it's anywhere between like, let's say, 4,000 steps, 6,000, okay, not too bad. Let's set the goal of hitting 7,000 steps, non-negotiable, every single day. We do that for 1 to 2 weeks. We get consistent with it. And then we're like, oh my God, this isn't too hard. Let's go to 8,000 steps a day. Let's go 9,000 and eventually we'll hit our goal of 10,000. Obviously, we'll come to a point in time where we can only take a certain amount of steps per day and we don't want to go too crazy high with it. Like 20,000 steps, a bit extreme. But we can make slow and steady increases, I guess. Are you against fasting? No. I love fasting. I used to be against it, but now I fast. Not just for like gym and like health, but for brain power and focus. Oh my goodness. Today I woke up at 8 a.m. and I didn't eat till 5 p.m. And I've got like the most amount of work done ever in a day. And I felt so fucking good. So good. Because as soon as we eat, we're putting a bodily function to work, which naturally makes us feel a bit tired and lethargic, especially if we're eating a meal that's high in carbohydrates, all right? Carbs like to spike our insulin and make us feel like groggy. We really want to have like a nap and get induced into like a carb coma. So my goal every day is to push all my meals back later in the day. And when I achieve that, I'm almost like guaranteeing myself for like max productivity. And like people stress like, oh, but then I'm not getting in my protein synthesis. What about my muscles? It's like, bro, the protein can wait. Favorite fruits. I was going to answer that. My favorite fruits are, can we guess actually? Let's all comment. What are my favorite fruits? Tap the screen. Spam tap the screen. Let's go. Nah, those actually aren't. Avocado. I do have a lot of avocado. Not kiwi. Not coconut. I love coconut water. The chocolate one's really good. My favorite fruits are oranges, blueberries, nectarines, plums. Bananas are kind of mid. Like as good as they are, they're kind of mid. I eat avocado every day. Same here. I love putting avocado with my rice and tuna. My big like steak meal tastes really yummy. Watermelon. I've never been a fan of watermelon. I just think it's too watery, which makes sense. It's not like something I can eat a lot of. I'm like, maybe just like one slice of watermelon is all right. What's going on, Paul? Guys, I did just post a new YouTube video today on my main channel. If you are interested in like my full-length self-improvement guides, you can either click that little account button, go on my like link tree, Adrian Scar Petis. I'm also posting all of these lives on my second channel called Petis Raw, Petis RAW. 1 hour value-packed content all in one spot. So if you don't really have the time and you really like my lives and you want to watch them in full, maybe even like 2x speed, I highly recommend checking that channel out as well. I actually posted my live from last night up tonight, and now I've got this live, and I'll post this live up tomorrow, and yeah, it feels really productive and purposeful. Avocados are really good. It's probably like one of the only fruits that are like really high in fat, which is good because we all need healthy fats. Fats are fat, and we need them. Avocado, even dates. Does anyone here like dates? Dates are really good, but they're really addictive and high calories. Not something we really want to be eating when we're trying to lose body fat. But so yum. Oh my God. I went through a phase, I was eating like a packet of dates a day, which was like 500 calories. Like, what the hell, bro? What? What's a date? Yeah, so when you're probably hearing the word date, like what going on a date? It's like those things that are like brown. They look really like unattractive. Does anyone else know what a date is? I fucking love them so much. They have like a pip in them as well. So yum. Oh my goodness. Date, yeah. Dates. That's what they're called, right? Dates. Come on, we all know dates. Thank you. I was going to say, am I like just saying some random fruit that doesn't exist? Hi, what's going on? I love dates. Sticky date pudding, right? One of my favorite, but really high calories, high in fat, sugar, etc. Not something you want to be eating if you're trying to lose body fat. I don't eat that many veggies as well. I like to eat a lot of red meat. That's what I love. Steak, beef mince. And then with fish, a lot of like tuna, salmon. Not as much like barramundi or anything. It's the sticky fruit. Looks like a brown sticky peanut. Exactly. Asparagus is so good. I actually don't really like asparagus that much. Believe it or not. Sorry, Bonnie. Guys, I'm going to wrap up. I can't speak. I'm going to wrap up the live in, let's go, 4 minutes. So if you have any final questions about gym, diet, self-improvement, pump it through. Also, if you ever do want to ask me a question, but maybe I'm not live and you really want to ask me, my private school community is the perfect place. We have a discussion thread where wherever you feel like a question has come to your mind, you really want to ask me or get an answer from me or anyone else in the group, highly recommend checking that out. The Petis Syndicate. It will be in my little like link tree if you're interested in that. What's going on, John? Sticky dates. Oh wow, hands. Wow, okay. I can yup for an hour now. I'm so sorry to hear that, bro. Fuck. You've come to the right place. Let me just tell you that, bro. I got cheated on a week ago. I've been processing it, but I don't know where to go from here. It's tough, bro. It takes time. And I think I can give you like the perfect script of what to follow and what to do. But obviously right now it is an emotional time and what I say probably won't like be followed as of well. But I can tell you that expressing your emotions isn't a bad thing. Like we have to validate the feelings you're feeling to move on. We can't like try escape them. Like as like fucked as this sounds, we just got to say, okay, I feel this way and that's fine. I deserve to feel this way. And like people will be like, oh, that's feminine, that's not masculine. But it's like, we have to ask ourselves, how does trauma, I'm going deep here, how does trauma get developed? Trauma gets developed by not expressing the emotions, unresolved emotions from like however long ago. That's what trauma is. So to prevent that, we got to express. That's why people say like therapy is good and even like gratitude journaling, even writing down stories of like times where you didn't feel safe to like express emotions. We have to like embrace the emotions we're feeling and realize that it's a big world and we've got to have more of this like abundant mindset. Like part of me wants revenge and show her what she lost, but I'm never going to be with her again because of who she is. So why does it even matter? We've got to become aware of the emotions we're feeling. Like let's say we're feeling like we want revenge, we feel dissatisfied, pissed, envious, angry. Negative emotions aren't entirely bad. Negative emotions are energy and we can use them productively. A lot of people after a breakup get jacked because they use all of that negative crap productively and make good use of it. And I think that will be the same case in this situation. We need to zoom out and say, okay, I'm angry, I want revenge. Which isn't bad. Like, okay, I would actually want revenge as well. I would. That's the burning desire I would have. And you can use all of that fuel to self-improve instead of self-destruct. And you'll be surprised, bro. Like the male timeline is fucking sick. 6 months from now, if you do everything you say you're going to do, you're going to progress and literally be a new, different version of yourself. And then you're going to look back and see all of your growth and realize that this person hasn't grown at all. And you're going to grow in thinking that you wanted revenge. But when you've grown so much, you look at them, you're like, I didn't even need revenge. What the fuck? Why did I care about this so much in the first place? Self-growth is the best revenge. Don't give yourself any time at all to be in your head. Let your sense of duty take over your life. Well said, John Africa. Purpose, 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 purpose. We got to stay busy, but that doesn't mean we should escape the emotions as well. Stay busy. Embrace what you're feeling. Be on the path of self-improvement and making progress. And like I just said before, as a man, every 6 months, you will attract a higher quality person into your life. Believe it or not. If you're like following your blueprint, like super disciplined, super consistent, and you're following it, you'll level up like crazy, bro. And this is another good quote. You attract a reflection of yourself. How old are you, Hands, if you don't mind me asking, bro? It's rough, yeah. There's no way, John. What the I've never heard that. John, how old are you? This is like... Because this is something I speak about. On my YouTube channel, I do post like a lot of like dating content. Sometimes I'm more red-pilled than other times. 21, yep, yep. Wow, fuck. Okay, so now there's like 2 conversations going on. I'm 23. I'm 23 as well. I'm in a relationship as well. Now you've got me overthinking. She was 24. Fuck, boys. Now I'm overthinking like crazy. We need to fucking make a private group chat. Sorry, let me try answer. I get that, but it's so messed up. 1.5 years of our lives, and she cheated, tried lying. So with cheating, especially with girls, they like to say a lot of trickle truths. And as a guy, I know this is hard, but I guess it depends on the type of person. I don't just want to label everyone as this, but this might come across as like extremely red pill. But when you can feel like your intuition and you feel like lying is involved, we shouldn't question. Because by questioning, what's a natural person's response? To get defensive, to maybe even gaslight, all of these like manipulation tactics. Their world is their reality or their dream world, and they think that's true. So we can't question. If we like have that deep down feeling that something is wrong, which we should feel like months before something happening, like red flags and signs, they actually come. Instead of thinking about all the good times, we should think about all the bad times and think of the signs that were shown to us in our face. But that's, fuck, bro. Fuck, I'm so sorry, bro. Shoot me a message, bro. Like, I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one about this type of stuff. Genuinely, bro. Genuinely, like, this is... I'm trying to, like, scroll through the comments. Then told me she was going to pursue the new connection. 21. I know Diana lost friendships. I'm 23. She was 24. Oh, so she was older. Believe me, bro, it opened my eyes. I know exactly what to look for now. Thoughts on Lion's Mane. Think of it this way, bro. Imagine you never found out and she continued to do it behind your back. Exactly. I guess how did you find out? Was it through like repeatedly like questioning? It's a blessing. We always have to think of the positives and think and say to ourselves like, okay, thank God I got out of that before it being like 8 years, 10 years. And then it happening then. Like that would have been a disaster. Imagine like how upset I would have been then. That would have been like, bro. She tried lying and her lie was BS and my heart knew something. She even deleted the long lie message after I found out. Lying is a natural, one of the most common manipulation tactics. Obviously, we all know that. Like people lie to protect their self-image and self-worth because they don't want to be thought as someone doing something harmful. So how do we not let that happen? We lie. Kind of create like this fake sense of self. And this comes from not taking any accountability, like none. The person breaking boundaries. And just very, 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 very narcissistic. Pretending like nothing happened and she's already posting stories with the new... Fucking hell. Fuck. she would do it to him too. Exactly. We have to realize, bro, like, you should never feel envious or jealous of the new guy. If anything, this guy is like dumber and below you for not figuring out her. Like, imagine this guy is now with her for X amount of years. You're smarter because you caught on. You have the time now to self-improve. Oh, this guy doesn't. So we always have to think of the positives. Patterns repeat. Like, if people, when this happens with like relationships and people just jump or rebound and go into another one, they just can't handle being alone. So if you can't handle being alone, how are you going to handle being in a relationship? It doesn't work like that. We need time to self-reflect, guys and girls. And if we don't use that time productively and we don't try to improve in any sort of way, patterns repeat, repeat and repeat, and they get shorter and shorter and worse and worse and worse. Always. Yeah. Well said, Hans. He's 26, bro. I'm 21. What the fuck? How am I even meant to compete, even if I self-improve? It hurts, bro. Like, I know what that feels like, genuinely, bro. That's the truth. I'm so glad you're aware and you can admit that, because it's true. But realize maybe it's not the game you're meant to be playing right now. As much as it hurts, I'm so glad we can have this conversation with each other right now. This is fucking... I don't know where you'd find this advice. Oh my God. It's true. Like, obviously, the older a man gets, the more valuable he is. If he's been working hard, he's got more money, he's got more social status, more charismatic, more muscle, all that superficial stuff. But there's cons as well. When a guy comes deemed across as more powerful, he also has a lot more options and can be he can make mistakes as well. Let's just say that. Just because a guy's older doesn't mean he's better in every single way. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Bro, I know it hurts a lot. I know it hurts now, but man, you'll come out of this a lot more mature. I don't even know why she spent 1.5 years talking to me if she was going to cheat. She makes no sense. Never, 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 never go back to her. It will always be too good to be true. Well said, John. Well said, bro. This is an opportunity, not a curse. This is an opportunity. I don't want to get too much about some of my friends' relationships, but I have a friend and he's self-improved drastically from like a situation like this. And he's like one of my close friends now, and he's just so grateful. And he looks at these people and thinks, why did I even care so much about them in the first place? No. A male law, a man law is to never go back. Never. That's an act of lust. And obviously we all get lustful thoughts, we're human, but those thoughts will creep into your mind whenever you're feeling lonely, whenever you feel like, oh, maybe it is right. And I'm here to validate you right now, bro, and tell you that if she does want you back, it's not that she wants you, it's that she wants to feel power. It's a lot of ego and self-validation. It's not that she necessarily cares about you. It's that maybe now she feels powerless and she wants to reclaim some power and she wants to get that from you. So your job is to improve yourself as much as humanly possible. Read all the books I tell you to read on my YouTube channel. Take my advice, and going back won't solve much. It won't, bro. I'm telling you. Be the man you want to become and she will be full of regret. Well said, Steven. Exactly. Right on the money. Obviously, in the short term, she's feeling good. You're feeling like shit. But the male timeline is a long-term game, okay? You're self-improving. She's self-depreciating, all right? You be consistent with the gym. It is inevitable you're going to look more attractive in however much time. You read the books I tell you to read, you're going to be more educated, more entertaining, more interesting, more knowledgeable, etc. in however much time. These are things we've got to say to ourselves that are non-negotiables, and we are going to follow not only when we are motivated, but also when we are not motivated, because we are disciplined, all right? We're going to do it no matter how we feel. We're going to do the work. Because I'm telling you, bro, this amount of pain you're going through right now is energy and fuel to become someone let me just say this. Your future self 6 months from now is waiting for you. So don't do him wrong. Do him a favor. The best revenge is to get out of her league. Bro, Adrian, how come your lives aren't more popular? You preach good. I appreciate that so much, bro. Let's make them more popular. Let's spam the likes. Let's spam the shares. Let's go, boys. It's the only way to make her regret it. But there are times when going back is right? I don't think so. No. I wouldn't settle for someone who didn't take you seriously the first time. Like I said previously, it kind of just goes into a power game of them wanting your attention again. Not because they love you, but because they want control. Which I know, okay, Adrian, relax. It's not all about power and power struggle and all this stuff. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I've read so many books about this crap, and I think a large part of it is. I think a large amount of people are selfish and lack accountability. Not everyone. But it's like, if a rubbish van was coming to pick up your rubbish bin and was to collect the rubbish and it goes away, would you be begging for the rubbish van to come back and put the rubbish back in the bin? No. Fuck no. It's like, we move on. The rubbish is gone. Let's get new rubbish. Oh my God. You find out a lot about people you really are on the inside. You find out a lot about who you really are on the inside. I can't help, but I don't take advice. Even got back in the gaming, spent less time on the phone. Revenge/regret is foolish. Be your best self and move on. Oh no, exactly. Like, I guess it's easier said than done, and people like to call us insecure. It's like, oh, if you still want to get revenge, you still think about her, that means you like her, which is kind of true, okay. But as men, negative emotions like I need revenge can actually be used productively and help us level up. And once we level up, then we no longer care about that person. So many comments, guys. Keep them pumping. Thanks. Can't speak. Thanks so much for the follow, brother. If you allow someone to betray you, it's not a good idea to go back. Amen. You have to set strict boundaries with yourself. You have to have your own values. That is what is most important. And if someone breaks those boundaries, the most powerful thing you can do as a man is your ability to walk away. I'm going to let you on a little bit more advice, and that's that you should never message her ever again, because that is an act of weakness and neediness, which she's just going to get more validation. Like, I don't want you to get these thoughts of, oh, what if she's expecting me to chase her and message her? No. Your superpower is emotional control and silence. So use that to your advantage, and you will be surprised how powerful you actually are without even realizing it. Making her regret is not the intention. It's just the byproduct of what happens when you level up. Holy shit, Steven, you're on fire, bro. That is, I can't even say that. That is so well said, bro. Bro, 5 days before cheating, I was sat joking about marriage with her and her friend. If you go back, it will never be the same. She doesn't go out and drink in general, and she just decided she's 24 now and she's going to change. I mean, I think, if I was to ask you, how well did you think you actually knew her? Because it takes a lot for someone to change. What's easier, to change or to not change? Like, this is a law of human behavior. What is easier, to stay the same or to change? And when we want to change, that's most likely towards good and not bad. So I guess, like, A person reveals themselves slowly over time through their actions, and she clearly revealed herself. Thanks so much for the follow, Jensen. Appreciate it, brother. Oh, bro, micro cheating, that's got to be a boundary. And as soon as you kind of feel any sort of micro cheating, done. Entertains another guy, done. We need to build this strength and show her that you can't be fucked around or played with. Thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. She did this to you, bro. Never forget it. So the detox from the phone, I started gaming, ended up shaving 7 hours off. Oh, well, if you shave the 7 hours off your phone, but then still use that on another bad habit like gaming, it's like, it doesn't really count. We got to eliminate the bad habits. No one's messaging anyone or resolving anything. That's why we're all single. Any tips for mental health? Social media detox, meditation, and reading. If I was to recommend a book for you to improve your mental health, The Courage to Be Disliked. Just finished reading it today. Amazing. One of my favorites. Oh, amazing, Shed. Let's go. That's unreal progress. I'm so glad you remembered the actionable step and took action on it. That's so fucking good, brother. The Power of Now. I love that book. Do I have that? It's somewhere there by Eckhart Tolle. The blue book. I got the copy in blue. Really good book. Some of my favorite books are Attached, Superior Man, Laws of Human Nature. What else? The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Amazing. He's a full philosopher. We also got, like I just said, The Courage to Be Disliked. Honestly, I actually found this book kind of mid. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Like, I like the whole subconscious and conscious mind thing and how our subconscious mind just accepts all of our thoughts and believes them as true. I just like to dumb it down and think, okay, if you want to achieve some sort of goal, just take action. You'll notice how much clearer everything gets and not clouded by ego. Yeah, it takes some time, like especially at the beginning of like some sort of breakup or event like that. The mind is going like crazy emotional and there's lots of like ego involved. And at your age 21, I think there is still so much growth to be made. And if there was one book I was to recommend you now, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. It's the book is in red. Ryan Holiday also wrote Discipline is Destiny. Really, really, really good author. What do you think of 50 Cent's motivation, inspiration, mindset? Honestly, don't really know much about 50 Cent. I don't mind his music, but... Guys, I'm going to wrap up this live in 2 minutes. Any final questions, pumping through. This has been an insane chat. Unreal chat, genuinely. If you do like this type of content, I'm for sure certain you will like my long form stuff. That'll be on my YouTube channel, Adrian Scott Petis. If you want easier access to that, little account button, I have the link tree in my bio. I read Robert Greene's books. 48 Laws of Power, Seduction, Laws of Human Nature was probably my favorite. Mastery was okay, and I haven't read War. Does metal hype you up a little bit? How do I move on and not compare other people to her, at least the stuff I liked? Stay busy, don't give yourself the time to think about it. I haven't read the 50th Law. That's something I should probably read, man. Appreciate it. We got to stay busy, bro. We got to stay busy. Try remove her on everything if you haven't already. You don't want to be seeing her stuff. It's not going to serve you anything. Another brutal tip is delete all old pictures as much as it's going to hurt. It's painful, bro. And I'm just trying to give you like some masculine direct advice. Like, obviously I'm not feeling like that emotional now. I haven't went through it. I'm just trying to give you more clarity and direction with how I speak. And I truly hope it's helping, bro. Well done, bro. Well done. Marcus, what's going on, man? I do. You were A's friend. I remember you, bro. Oh my god, we got OGs joining tonight. This is hectic. How's your year been, Marcus? We've been training hard. So good. The boys are back. Hello, what's going on? Adrian, how much sleep do you recommend? 8 hours is essential. You can get away with 7, but it doesn't just matter about like the hours. It also matters what time you go to bed, because getting 8 hours from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is a lot different from sleeping from, let's say, 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. I know whenever I'm sleeping like super late and I still get my 8 hours, I feel atrocious and I just can't focus and get any work done. My speaking is like 50% worse. I struggle to hold a conversation. I'm getting like negative thoughts, so much like fog in my brain. Compared to like when I lock in on my sleep, I should be in bed by now, but this has been too good. I'm a different person, and that's why sleep should be all of our purposes, and prioritize that, because when we sleep well, everything else in our life will be like 100 times better, all right? Yeah, bro, I've locked in. I've moved overseas to Spain. I've got a contract with a La Liga team. That is fucking incredible. Holy shit, bro. Well done. Well done, bro. You're in Spain right now. That is insane, bro. Oh my. Bro, you're getting a tan, good weather. Locking in on your goals, bro. Marcus, if I was to leave you with one tip, it's like I was just speaking about, especially at a young age, lock in with your sleep. Super important. When your sleep's locked in, you're going to outperform everyone on the field. Compared to like all of the other kids your age who are just like scrolling before bed. If you can put your phone on airplane mode an hour before bed, not get distracted, and just say to yourself, I know I'm going to get all these notifications, but I'm higher value and I can just reply to all those messages tomorrow. It's going to help you a lot, and you'll soon come to realize that you're going to outperform everyone on the pitch just because you're sleeping an extra hour, which doesn't sound like much. It really doesn't. But just the clarity of mind is game-changing, bro. Game-changing. Well done, bro. Well done. I feel like this is shifting my whole perspective on humans in general. It would be. Oh, my eye. Oh my goodness, sorry guys. My eye's tweaking. I'll try it, bro. I've been thinking the same thing. I come back for 2 weeks over Christmas. Unreal, bro. I'll see you in Germana. Hectic. Count your blessings, not your curses, and you'll find eventually there's more good than bad. Spot on. I finished building a plug for TikTok instead of using a pre-existing bot, but my own. Hey, bro. Adrian, what's up? Would I rather be financially successful but feel empty, or be poor and feel fulfilled? Be poor and feel fulfilled. 1000%. 1000%. I don't. Same things that make us laugh, make us cry. Wow. I think we want to end the live on that. That is such a good quote. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found value in my answers, and thank you so much for all of the valuable questions that we all shared tonight. I will be live again tomorrow night, usually around like 9 p.m. for those of you who want to join again. Also, I do post all of my live streams on my second YouTube channel called Petis Raw, Petisraw. That's where I'll post the live streams. And obviously on my main channel, if you are familiar with my content, I post self-improvement videos, just like kind of teaching lessons to my younger self, whether it be about gym, diet, books I've read, dating, relationships, mental health, social skills, all that type of stuff. If you're really interested in that, you will really love the long form content, which you can find in like my little link tree if you're interested. Also, I do have a private school community where I have a discussion thread, pre-recorded courses, and I do live calls twice a week in there. And I also plan on hosting private meetups in the future, which are going to be fucking insane. We can all go for a run. We can all go gym. It'll be fucking hectic, all right? God bless Adrian. Have a good night, everyone, and smash the rest of your week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you, all right? Peace, boys. Go smash it. Let's go.